So if you believe in science, and if you're grateful for vaccines, and we do and we are, then you should expect very straightforward answers to very simple questions about how they work. And for months now, we have been asking a very straightforward question about the coronavirus vaccine. Why do people who take it, and by the way, why do people who've been previously infected and show high levels of antibodies, have to live under the restrictions that the vaccines were supposed to eliminate? Why, for example, does Tony Fauci say you have to wear a mask after you get the vaccine? If we're following the science, and we sincerely hope to, we're wondering, is Fauci telling Americans who've been vaccinated or who have recovered from the coronavirus itself that they aren't protected against future infections? Is that why he's saying they can't eat in restaurants or go to bars? These are not trick questions. They're the most basic of all questions. We'd love to have Dr. Fauci on the show to explain them. But we've asked him enough that he finally took notice, and this morning he went on CNN. But he didn't answer them. Instead, he dismissed those questions as a conspiracy theory. And as he talked, you'll notice the graphic on the screen. We lie! Right. Here's what happened.
What do you have to say to Tucker Carlson?
Yeah. That's just a typical crazy conspiracy theory. Why would we not tell people if it doesn't work? Look at the data. The data are overwhelming. In the 3 vaccines that have been approved for use in an emergency use authorization, the J&J, the Pfizer, and the Moderna, you had 30,000, 44,000, and 40,000 people in a clinical trial with an overwhelming signal of efficacy. So I don't have any idea what he's talking about.
How dangerous is it for a TV personality like that, who does have an audience of millions, to speculate about something like that?
Well, it's certainly not helpful to the public health of this nation or even globally.
Wait a second. Who's doubting that vaccines work? For the record, we never for a minute doubted it. We bought all of that stuff completely at face value. We believe in science. Actually, kind of probably trust the pharmaceutical companies a little bit too much. So when they said this stuff works, we never questioned it. We assumed they had detailed studies showing that it does work. We still think that. The only reason we're asking the question is because the people in charge are acting like it doesn't work. You see the President of the United States wearing a mask outside. You see his vice president doing the same thing. You see the guy in charge of coronavirus response, the one you just saw, telling us that, again, after you've had the vaccine, you must remain under the restrictions. So we're asking a question that is rooted in science, which is why? If this stuff works, why can't you live like it works? What are you really telling us here? And by the way, this, again, is not a trick question. We're not playing word games here. What's the answer? If the coronavirus vaccine prevents you from catching the coronavirus, why are you wearing a mask? Why can't you eat in a restaurant? And if it doesn't prevent you from catching the coronavirus, why are we taking it in the first place? Both can't be true. So that's the question. It's not a conspiracy theory. As an American, you should ask it too. If they're telling you can't fly on a plane until you take a vaccination, which, by the way, won't allow you to live as you did in 2019, what are they saying? Let's hope they explain it really soon before people lose faith, not just in them, but in science itself. And that really would be a tragedy.
If I said it, I meant it. Wipe my tongue from